You know, polls are fake also, just like these people, the fake news. They just...
And now the child tax credit.
Wait, what?
Now that
the child tax credit?
Yeah. President Trump started it, and then she upped it. She upped it, and the camo hats, and the tax on tips, and now crypto.
So A, that's not true.
Okay.
B, child poverty was cut in half when the Biden-Harris administration implemented the child tax credit, and the Republicans got rid of it. If Tim Walz is as terrible and embarrassing as you guys think he is, why does he have a +7 favorability and J.D. Vance and Trump both have a -13? And Kamala's at +3. What's going on?
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
In a world of Jeanine Pirro's, be a Jessica Tarlov, who, and I've said this many a times, simply can't be getting paid enough to put up with this.
Since Donald Trump ran the first time, he has been making this argument: if they could do this to me, they could do this to you. The average person is not inflating their wealth by $800 million to $2.2 billion. They're not sexually assaulting women. They're not storing classified documents in the toilet. They're not fomenting an insurrection. Mar-a-Lago, you remember the documents?
Let's focus on this case. We can do a lot.
You always do that.
Jessica, you're doing a laundry list.
Really? You
You're
just say
doing a
Judge
laundry
Edgar on
list
this too.
when we're focused on one topic.
But she does, and we should all be grateful that she's willing to risk the lion's den as she scours for wandering souls lost in the Fox News echo chamber.
I mean, didn't Joe Biden go on the biggest spending spree in American history?
No. Donald Trump actually spent a lot more than him. So Donald Trump is personally responsible as the president for about 30% of the national debt.
In the wake of Trump's rally in Pennsylvania, where he praised himself for never mixing up places or names, okay, sure, Donald, why don't you falsely accuse Nikki Haley again over her role on January 6th?
I almost said the state of Pennsylvania, but I meant the Commonwealth. I never said the state. I was able to catch it because I'm cognitively very strong. Very, very strong.
Before turning up the fascist with this comment on how to deal with protesters upset over the overturning of Roe versus Wade.
They were very brave, the Supreme Court, very brave, and they take a lot of hits because of it. It should be illegal what happens. You know, you have these guys like playing the ref, like the great Bobby Knight. These people should be put in jail the way they talk about our judges and our justices. You ever notice on Fox, they put me on, I do a great job, and then they follow me with a horrible commercial. You know, I say, what the hell is it going to be doing it if Roger Ailes never allowed bad commercials? What's the purpose of me doing a nice show? And then they put 9 horrible commercials on, which are all lies. Or they put somebody on that's good, and then they always feel like they have to put somebody on who's bad. So the net result is a neutral. And you say, what are you doing it for? You can't do that. Fox should put just the good people on, the people that want to make America great again. They shouldn't put the guys that are professional scammers on.
And when discussing the appeal of the Harris-Walz ticket versus the Trump-Vance ticket on Fox News The 5, the onus, as is usually the case, fell on Jessica Tarlov to try and enlighten her co-hosts, woefully cocooned off from reality, that, newsflash, your fearless leader isn't exactly soaring in the polls.
And now the child tax credit.
Wait, what?
Now that
the child tax credit?
Yeah. President Trump started it, and then she upped it. She upped it, and the camo hats, and the tax on tips, and now crypto.
So A, that's not true.
Okay.
B, child poverty was cut in half when the Biden-Harris administration implemented the child tax credit, and the Republicans got rid of it. If Tim Walz is as terrible and embarrassing as you guys think he is, why does he have a +7 favorability and J.D. Vance and Trump both have a -13? And Kamala's at +3. What's going on? What's going on with this loser with the clean air filter, right? That people seem to like.
Capital L. Just look among young voters at the general election in your new survey, and remind people what age voters we're talking about, and then we'll show the number here.
Sure thing. We're talking about young voters under the age of 30, 18 to 29-year-old voters. Let's remember, Willie, this is the group that turned out in record numbers in 2020 and overwhelmingly supported Joe Biden. And many people believe that's the reason that he was elected president. We can see here a dramatic shift over the last several months. He is winning. Kamala Harris is leading Trump by 32 points among likely voters. And just several months ago, Joe Biden in the same position was leading by only 13 points. In fact, over the summertime, I had some polling. I looked at other polling where Donald Trump was actually leading the Democrat candidates in the battleground states. So this is a massive, significant vibe shift just in the last several months.
This comes after a slew of polls emerged yesterday showing Kamala Harris widening her lead in several key battleground states, including Pennsylvania, where Trump spent most of his time campaigning yesterday. And here's the thing. I wouldn't subject my worst enemy to an hour of Trump's unhinged diatribe. But I did stumble across this interview that I want you guys to watch because to me, it speaks volumes to the way that Trump campaigns and the people that he's campaigning for. Watch as this Trump voter tries to explain how illegal immigration is impacting him.
So what's the most important issue for you as a Pennsylvania voter?
The illegal immigration into this country.
How is it hurting you and folks you know?
It's not. It's just the principle of the fact that everybody comes in here and gets free stuff and taking stuff away from hardworking Americans, and we got to put America first again.
Absolutely. We've heard that all around the country. Thank you very much.
And I've been saying this since I stepped foot in this country, that I guarantee the most staunch of immigration critics have never been impacted by it in their life, not even in the slightest. But Trump gives them a scapegoat for their own struggles, a place to aim their anguish and frustration.
But it's very tough because we'll take one young woman with 2 children and they'll put them in a bus to take them back to some country, and it'll be put in the fake news and it'll be a terrible story. It's terrible. And the whole country will turn against it. It's a very tough thing to do. We have to do it carefully, but we have to get murderers and drug dealers and all these people that are coming into our country. We have to get them out of here. It's not sustainable.
It's a decades-old trick wielded by those in power hell-bent on turning people against each other for their own political gain. And the most prime example of this is his current ramblings about Springfield, where it simply matters not the facts, nor the fact that the leaders in the area are desperately calling for Trump and Vance to stop spreading these lies and disinformation that have resulted in bomb threats, putting people's lives in jeopardy. In fact, here is what Trump had to say on the matter at his recent rally.
With left-wing nonprofits to inundate Pennsylvania communities, changing the character of small towns and villages all over our country and changing them forever. They will never be the same. They will never be. Do you think Springfield will ever be the same? I don't think. The fact is, and I'll say it now, you have to get them the hell out. You have to get them out. I'm sorry. To get them out. Can't have it. Can't have it. They've destroyed it. It's terrible. It's terrible to say.
Every city in America will be Springfield, Ohio, if Donald Trump is elected again. Think about it. By spreading lies just to benefit himself and try and get elected so he can avoid criminal and civil penalties, Donald Trump has falsely accused Haitian immigrants who are in the United States legally of eating cats and dogs. It is crazy. But by making this false smear, he's destroyed the community. These Haitian immigrants are living in fear of their lives. Public buildings across Springfield, Ohio are being shut down constantly because of bomb threats. A pastor spoke today that this has completely divided the community, not just the Haitian American immigrant community, but it's turned neighbors against each other. It's hurting businesses in Springfield. That is a microcosm of what will happen if we allow Donald Trump to be president of all America. One community with one big lie has been destroyed. Imagine what every community will look like if Donald Trump is president. Every community will suffer like Springfield is suffering because it's all about Donald Trump, and he doesn't care at all, doesn't give a shit about what is left in his chaotic wake.
And this is why his numbers are dwindling, as Tarlov pointed out, because outside of those who want to blame immigration for every issue in their life, there are people across the country who are actually disgusted by what he's saying, and they want to turn the page.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.